Mike Owens with Inside Fighting, joined today by Nathan Fletcher, who returns to action at UFC London, facing Caolan Loughran. Nate, always a pleasure, my man. How are things with you today?
I'm very good, brother. Thank you for taking the time to sit down and speak to me. It's nice. Nice to always catch up with you.
It's always a pleasure, mate. Fight week, UFC London. How are you feeling?
Feel great, lad. Yeah, just got here today. Been a busy day travelling, getting here, getting all checked in and everything. But I love this. This is the stuff I've fantasized about for years. Do you know what I mean? Getting and doing a UFC fight week. So the spirit's high, even though the carbs are low and the calories are low. The spirit's high, and I'm enjoying it, taking it all in.
I would have imagined, and correct me if I'm wrong, but have you done this trip before as a teammate?
The only time I've been to a UFC as a teammate was with Molly, and that was on Fight Island. So that was a bit of a unique experience.
Right, okay.
But I have done that before, and then obviously my debut I did twice. So I'm now a little bit accustomed to a UFC fight week. This is my third one and only my second fight. So yeah.
The first fight was interesting because you fight in the UFC cage without UFC shorts on, so it's like difficult to tell if that felt like your UFC debut or not. Did it, or does this feel like your first full appearance, if you will?
Yeah, I mean, on paper it is down as a debut, that last one, but like you say, I had the Ultimate Fighter gear on. I wasn't wearing Venom. I didn't have my name on the fight kit. So for me, this feels like a real debut. This is when I've envisioned making my debut in the UFC. It's sort of this week, what I've imagined, fighting on a home show, UFC London in the O2. It's an arena I've been to as a fan and watched. So this definitely feels more like my official debut.
There was a couple of comments on the YouTube video of your interview in the Octagon saying you look like someone. Any idea who it was?
It wasn't Lex Friedman.
Lex Friedman, which I'm not sure I can see that, to be honest.
That's why I blew my hair out now. Yeah, I had the buzz cut for the last one. So I just change my appearance every fight week. Sometimes I've got long hair, mid, or sometimes I shave it all off. But I've kept a bit of hair this time. Trying to avoid the Lex Friedman references.
Yeah, well, I get Forrest Griffin. So Paddy told me he got a DM once of someone saying I look like Forrest Griffin.
Really? Yeah.
Can you see it?
Not really, no.
That's a compliment. Yeah, I don't know if it is or it isn't,
Sorry,
to be honest. What was your reaction, your first reaction when you got the name Caolan Loughran presented to you?
I was made up. Do you know what? Again, it's weird, these things, how it all works out, because for years I thought I was going to fight him on Cage Warriors. It never ended up materialising, and now we're doing it on an even bigger stage. He's somebody I've had my sights on since I fought him amateur, to be honest, because again, we were coming through the regional circuit at the same time. So on Cage Warriors, I thought, obviously he ended up winning the belt. That was going to be, a potential opponent. Now I'm grateful that we get to do it on a bigger stage for more money in the UFC, more eyes on us. And yeah, I was just made up when his name came across.
What do you recall from the first fight? 2018, I think it was?
Yeah, it was a long time ago now. I remember going to Belfast in his hometown, and I don't know if it's his hometown, but he's Irish, isn't he? So he was the home favourite. It was in a little, like a pub or a function place called the Devonish, where they do like all amateur tournaments now. So it's interesting how we fought there in like such a small local club to now the O2 Arena. Yeah. But I remember going out there and feeling pretty comfortable and, dominating the fight. I'd say I won all 3 rounds, maybe 2-1. But yeah, I felt comfortable. I remember out grappling him and putting a pace on him. So I imagine I'll probably do the same again this weekend.
How much does the game plan stay the same? How much does the game plan differ? I know you can't give away specifics. I'm not asking for that, but in a general sense.
I mean, obviously, it was a long time ago. We both evolved as fighters. So that was an amateur rule set. It was 3-minute rounds. It was completely different to what we're going to do now, 3-5s in the UFC. I still feel I've got a big grappling advantage over him. So it's no secret what I do in fights. I've finished 8 of my 9 wins by choke, or 8 of my 9 wins, 7 of my 9 wins, I think it is, by choke. So going into every fight, I'm looking to get people out of there. And I just feel like putting a pressure on them, putting a pace on them, ends up resulting in them looking for a way out, and it usually results in a choke. So that's my prediction. But it's an MMA fight, anything can happen. I'm ready for all areas of combat.
We've been speaking for a number of years now, and I wanted to bring you back to some of the setbacks that you've had. When you think about how the Ultimate Fighter went for you with the injury, I thought about, I remember interviewing you actually in Next Gen with the logo behind us before you fought Don Wooden. I always remember that interview.
Yeah.
I remember the cancelled fight against Cameron Else and a couple of others. I think it was Thomas Bryan was another opponent that you had. You had so many setbacks in different forms, and now you're finally here where you've always wanted to be. How does that feel?
Yeah, it's crazy. When you envision your journey in this sport, and starting out, I was having success after success after success with no real setbacks. But this is a crazy game, and a lot of things, they tend to be outside of your control. Do you know what I mean? But throughout all those years, I never lost sight of this goal. I never for once doubted myself, and I knew my level was there and that I would get here. So I held that vision in my head the whole time, and now it just feels normal. It feels right. Obviously, going through each month, each setback, the fight falls through, the injury happens on tough. There's multiple little things. It's hard to stay so positive in the time, but looking back, I'm grateful for all the setbacks because it's got me in this position now at 27, more mature version of myself, more well-rounded fighter, and I believe that still young, still ready to make a rise in the UFC at the right time. So yeah, it's been up and down so far, but it's crazy now because say I go on and catapult and have great success in the UFC, it looks like, oh, this young kid, he's come 27, he's had a great rise. People don't see the years before. I've been doing this sport for over 10 years to get into the UFC and make my debut. So yeah, it's crazy journey, but I hope it just carries on now.
I want to bring you back to a caption you put on an Instagram post which read, "No stone left unturned, 21 days until I make a statement on the world stage." Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I like my captions. I always sit and think, because I don't post very often, you know what I mean? So I like to put something purposeful and a cool little inspirational quote. That's just, that's the theme of the camp. No stone has been unturned. No stone's been left unturned. I've put the work in. I've prepared very well. I actually heard little things from his side where they thought I was going to pull out. They thought I was maybe injured and stuff in the camp. But it's the complete opposite. I've had one of the best camps I've ever had. I feel unbelievable. I'm coming in great shape, great condition. My sparring round's been brilliant. And I'm always dedicated. Every fight, putting in the work is no issue for me. I'm not one of these guys who slacks off. I enjoy being in the grind. I think I thrive best when I'm in a fight camp. So that was just, the theme of the camp. No stone left unturned. Put the work in. And that's where my confidence comes from now. I know I'm the best version of myself getting in that cage on Saturday night.
What's the buzz in the gym like at the moment? I mean, another successful night in Manchester last weekend. You've got yourself and obviously Meatball Molly on this card. A certain Mr. Baddy is co-headlining in Miami. I should say. I imagine there's a lot of buzz around next year at the moment.
Yeah, it's this question gets asked to me every year because we're always leveling up and leveling up and leveling up, and it's great to see from where we've come from, the success we were having back in the day. That felt like everyone's flying, everyone's doing well, and just to see it year on year, we're building, and now we've got an absolute roster of killers in the gym from flyweight all the way up to middleweight, and even women's strawweight. So we're covering all weight divisions. I truly believe there's going to be 6, 7 of us even in the UFC over the next year. We've got the likes of Liam Gittins, Cage Warriors champion, Luke Riley, undeniable now. Adam Cullen's knocking on the door. Shem, also 11-1, 12-1, something with all finishes. We literally got killer after killer. And then you forget Paddy, the main man, fighting Michael Chandler. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy, but the gym is absolutely flying at the minute, and iron sharpens iron. Every day I'm going on that mat and training with a bunch of killers. It's just leveling up my game as well.
If you were a betting man, who joins you next in the UFC ranks?
I think it's got to be Luke Riley, 100%. I feel Luke should already be in the UFC, to be honest. I think that 11-0, 8 knockouts or something crazy against great competition. That last guy was highly touted, 9-2, 29 years old, another young prospect. That was a UFC caliber fight right there, what took place on Cage Warriors. So I think Luke's next, and then I think Liam Gittins is not too far behind him, to be honest, with the performance he put on as well the other week in Italy.
Last one from me, mate. Thank you so much for your time. Talk me through what a perfect day looks like on Saturday as you envisage it.
Okay, perfect day. I believe I'm second on, so I'm going to be fighting relatively early in the evening, which is nice. I can wake up, get my shakeout in, feel good, feel sharp, get my refuel in, eat a good bit of food, hydrate, and just chill then. I like to watch fights, fight day. I'll just get based up in my room, get some of my favourite fights on, get in the zone, watch some of my previous fights, just so I'm seeing that success that I've been having and knowing, reaffirming in my mind, I'm ready to do the business. And then, travel down to the arena, music on, get there, get a good warm-up in. Like I say, I'm relatively early on the card, so there's no waiting round. Just get warm, get out there and do the business and get a first round finish and a bonus.
I love it, mate. Nath, it's a pleasure as always, mate. I can't believe this is going to be the first time I've ever watched you fight live. It's a bit of a strange one to think that all the fights that we've covered, and for whatever reason I couldn't make it or whatever happened. So looking forward to it. Have a great and safe rest of the week, and best luck for Saturday.
Thank you, brother. Nice one.